data visualization has a really long and storied history. So this is going back, at least until the 1700s. So there's a lot that we know about the best ways to present data. But modern data analytics, both of the scale and the diversity of the data we're trying to visually depict, has really knocked this up like several levels. It's gotten much cooler, much more trendy, much more hip, much more kind of like Web 2.0 in the last few years. And while some of that is just like buzz, and some of it is not very useful, a lot of it is very cool, very useful, and actually really important if your ultimate goal is to get the product of your data analytic process understood and accepted by various stakeholders. It pains me to say this as a mathematician, but a lot of times it's how good the results look. Not how good the results are. It's how good the results look. You can have very strong, powerful results, and unless you're displaying them in a way that your audience can connect with, you're not going to have much hope of really affecting any kind of change. So in this series of videos, we're going to be focusing on some new data visualization types that you may not have seen before, things like tree maps and bubble charts. We'll be looking at various specific features to Tableau, things like combined axis and dual axis charts, and making sure that that those make sense both like programmatic, like how do we actually make them happen, and then how do we remember to interpret very traditional statistical displays like box plots and histograms. In particular, with box plots, there's just a lot of details, and it's one of those things that it's very embarrassing if someone asks you like, oh, well, what is this? How do I interpret this? And you don't have the details like on the ready. It's not hard, but there are some things that we need to know there. And one of the other things is like a lot of these like basic visualizations or old visualizations. I mean, they're making a comeback. People still display these things. And so we need to know like, oh, okay, there it is. I see it. This is how I interpret this thing. Yeah, it's old, but it's here again. Same thing with histograms. So by the end of the series of videos, you should have a really good working understanding of how we construct all these visualizations in Tableau, how they're related to one another, and how we can like at least start to envision how to make more and more complex and compelling visualizations as we move forward in the course.